Welcome to This Daring Adventure podcast, where we work on bridging the gap between where we are and where we want to be in order to live a bigger and bolder life. In this podcast, we will provide inspiration, tips, and skills you need to make your life the adventure you want it to be. Here's your host, mindset mentor, and life coach, Trista Gurton.
Hey everybody, welcome back to This Daring Adventure. I'm so happy you're here. Today we're talking about something that I truly believe is one of the most important things that you can understand if you want to make real change in your life. And we're not taught this, so it makes sense that we've tried to make changes in the past. We've created New Year's resolutions, we've set all of those goals, and yet we still can't get traction to really make sustainable change that we want. But today, I'm going to tell you the secret, the key, if you will. And it's not about temporary change. It's not, I did it for 2 weeks and then I stopped. And it's not, I was motivated until life got busy. I'm talking about real sustainable change here, the kind that becomes your new normal. And the basic premise here is that you cannot change what you're doing without changing who you're being. Most of the time, we are taught, I'm going to say probably all of the time, we're taught to take the action. Let's say, for instance, New Year's resolution or your goal is to lose 10 pounds and you're going to go to the gym. And so you start going to the gym every day. And it's exciting at the beginning. Your brain is like, yes, we're going to do this. And you're motivated and you're going to the gym. And then maybe 10 days in, 2 weeks, whatever it is, the novelty wears off. It's work. It's monotonous. It's boring. It's boring work. And your brain is like, I'm over this. Let's just lie on the couch and watch Netflix, or let's stay in bed and be warm, whatever it is. The problem with how we've been trying to make changes is that we just do the action. Just go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym, do the thing. But what I want to talk about today is the identity work that you need to do. And this is obviously based in your brain, your mind, your thought patterns, your beliefs, your habits, the thought loops that you keep recycling. And this is work that I'm leaning into hard for 2026. I think it's really interesting, and I think it is the key personally in my own life and the work that I'm doing with my clients. It's important. We're doing this work inside Shift 2026, which is my 12-week program that I am using or offering in my coaching community, You Redefined. So that's Shift 2026. It's a 12-week program. I just released week 2 yesterday, and that is within my coaching community. It's a pay-as-you-go community, You Redefined. And if you love this topic, just know that in Shift 2026, we're going deep. You're going to get the resources and the support that you need. It's not too late to join. The link will be in the show notes. So this episode is based on the work that we're doing in Shift 2026, and it is a modified version of the video that I released yesterday for my clients in You Redefined. And so I'm excited to share this with you. And yeah, let's dive in. So let's start with why you keep starting over. And this is something that might feel painfully familiar. I think we all go through these patterns where we decide we want to change. And you make a plan, you get excited, You feel that fresh start energy, and your brain loves this. Gets a huge hit of dopamine, loves it, gets excited. Then the novelty is real. The excitement is real. But then after a while, you stop following through. You might do it for a little while, like I said, a couple of weeks, and then you stop. And what do you make that mean? So often, and I know I've done this with myself, we make it mean we're not disciplined, we're lazy, we don't have the willpower, we're not motivated, we always do this. This is just who we are. But I want to offer something different here. It's not that you're incapable. It's definitely not that there's anything wrong with you. It's that you're trying to create a new life while staying the same person. The same thought patterns, the same beliefs, the same habits. And that just keeps repeating. So it's like saying, I want to run a marathon, but I don't want to become a runner. Or I want confidence, but I don't want to become the kind of woman who feels nervous and still shows up and does the work. I want peace, but I don't want to become someone who processes emotions instead of spiraling. We want the result without becoming the woman who creates the result. And while a lot of it is based on action, there has to be a thought process. There has to be a decision-making protocol that you use in order to change the thought patterns, which will in turn change the way you feel, which in turn helps you to take different actions and create ultimately different results, the results that you want. But when we don't make those changes and we just keep repeating the same thoughts over and over and over again, that's when change doesn't last. Identity can be defined in a simple way here. It's not mystical. It's not something you find. It's just the thoughts you keep repeating about yourself. So it's the thoughts you repeatedly think about who you are. That's it. Your identity is basically your brain's favorite playlist. And if you keep playing the same songs, you keep getting the same life, right? Same results, same life. Here are some of the identity thoughts I hear from my clients all the time. I'm not consistent. I always fall off track. I'm an emotional person. I'm a procrastinator. I don't follow through. I'm not confident. I'm too old to change. It's too late for me. This is just how I am. They tell me these things like they're facts, but they're not facts. They're just thoughts. And they probably feel very true. But that's because you repeated them so many times, oftentimes for years, decades. A belief is just a thought you keep on thinking. And when you're repeatedly thinking these thoughts, you're building the belief, you're looking for the evidence, you're going to find it. And these thought patterns become well-worn neural pathways in your brain. So they come up very quickly, they feel very real, they feel very true. And your brain tells you this is who you are and you believe it. But I promise you, they are still thoughts. And these thoughts create feelings. These feelings drive actions, and these actions create results. So if you keep thinking, I'm not consistent, you feel discouraged or doubtful. You'll hesitate. You'll stop early. You will prove it all true. Not because it was true, not because it was real, but because you practiced it. And the more you practiced it, the more real it became, or the more real it felt. So let's take a look at this in more detail. How your identity creates your results. Let's say you were going to do a workout today. You had planned a workout. Now, as that time to work out approaches, you start thinking the thought, you know what? I never stick with these things. I never follow through. And you start feeling discouraged because that thought creates that feeling in you. You're thinking, I never stick with things. creates that feeling of discouraged. So then what happens? You're not putting on your shoes going to the gym. You decide, we can do it maybe tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. And maybe you start scrolling on your phone or seeing what's on TV. And you decide you're just going to leave it for now and really start tomorrow. But what's your result? The result is you haven't stuck with the thing. And you don't stick with things because this is your pattern. Your brain offers you this resistance and that excuse, and you believe it. And your brain goes, see, I told you. This is who you are. It's too hard. And then identity becomes even stronger. Your brain offers you more and more evidence. Now, here's what I want you to hear. Your results are not a reflection of your potential. Not of your potential. You can do so much. You're capable of so much. Your results are a reflection of your practiced identity. The thoughts that are going around your head are ultimately creating those results. And so this is actually great news because it means you can change your results by changing what you practice, what you're thinking, the feeling that's created, and therefore ultimately driving those actions. So what we want to do is move from trying to becoming. Most people will approach change like this. They say, I'm trying to do something different. But trying is temporary. And I always remember somebody gave me a Yoda quote years ago. And this is like going back 30 years, if not more. Ooh, yeah, no, it's not quite 30. It's probably like 27 years. Okay. And this is what Yoda said. Do or do not. There is no try. Either you're doing it or you're not doing it. Trying is effort. Trying is temporary. Trying is exhausting. Trying is fragile. But shift 2026 energy, the work that we're doing is I'm becoming someone different. And that's so much stronger. It makes me feel grounded. It makes me feel certain. That becoming is so much more grounded and strong and centered. Trying says, I hope I can keep this up. Becoming says, this is who I am now. And if you want to change to become your new normal, you have to stop focusing only on what you're doing and start focusing on who you are being. The action is actually only one part of it. And it happens a couple of steps down the line. You have to start first with what you're thinking and how you're making decisions and how you show up. So let's get practical here. This is where you stop making it personal and start getting honest, right? Because again, this is not who you are. It's not some defect and it's not fatal. But ask yourself, who am I being in this area that I want to change? If your goal is health, then maybe you've been being someone who starts and stops, put everyone else first, uses food as comfort, waits for motivation. If your goal is confidence, maybe you've been being someone who doubts herself, overthinks everything, waits until she feels ready, needs reassurance. If your goal is money, maybe you've been being someone who avoids looking at the numbers, undercharges, plays small, tells herself it's not the right time. And I want you to hear this. These are not moral failures. These are not personality defects. They are practiced thought patterns. That's it. You have them on a loop. And practiced thought patterns create practiced lives. You just keep living the same day over and over and over again. What we need to do is decide who we're becoming. And this is the fun part because you can choose any new identity. It's not about being a fake one or a perfect one, but a real one, something authentic, something that's aligned. A new identity is simply a new set of thoughts that you will commit to practicing. So ask yourself, if this change were already my new normal, if I was already this person, who would I be? If you want consistency, you're thinking, I'm a woman who follows through. I keep promises to myself. I'm learning to do what I said I would do. I am learning to rely on commitment, not motivation. If you want calm, you're thinking, I'm emotionally resilient, or I'm building emotional resilience. It's possible that I can build greater emotional resilience. I'm learning to feel the discomfort and still lead myself. I don't abandon myself when life gets hard. If you want confidence, I'm learning to trust myself. It's possible for me to take action before I feel ready. I'm learning to be willing to be uncomfortable. Some of these are a bit of a mouthful, but you get the idea. I'm not telling you to go to rainbows and daisies right away. You can add those modifiers. I'm learning. I'm willing. It's possible. You want it to feel a little bit better. You want it to be a little bit believable. You want to do the work to practice thinking those until you believe it more and more. As you do the work, you'll gain more evidence and the process will speed up and it will become easier. But at first, be aware and be ready that your brain will argue with you. It will say, that's not true. Who do you think you are? Be realistic. Don't get ahead of yourself. This is never going to work. And you know what? When that happens, that's perfectly normal. I want you to expect it. I want you to know that it's going to happen and nothing has gone wrong. You can just take a beat, take a pause, smile, because that is just your old identity trying to stay employed. Your old identity is like a toxic ex. It will text you when you're doing well, and your job is not to reply. Don't believe it. Don't take it seriously. Just keep on going. Next, your identity is going to be built through evidence. And this is how identity change works. It's not through affirmations that you don't believe, but we want to start building the evidence. You become the woman who follows through by following through. You become emotionally resilient by feeling emotions without running. You become confident by taking action while nervous. You can take small steps, small actions, but the important part is to actually take some action. So instead of asking, how do I feel confident? You can ask, what would a confident woman do next? And then you do that. Again, a small action. And that's how identity is built. You're going to point out that evidence to your brain. It's not about a massive transformation overnight. You need the daily proof. And you keep showing up and you keep going. Now, one tip that will help you stop quitting. When you choose a new identity, you will feel discomfort. And that discomfort does not mean it's wrong. It means it's new. It means you're expanding. It means there's work being done. Your nervous system is basically going, what is going on here? And most people will interpret that as danger and revert back to the old self. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do something different. Expect the discomfort, expect the resistance, and know that that means growth is happening. You're not failing, you're becoming, you're evolving, you're growing. To help you with this practice, you can try to do a couple of things after this episode. First, name your old identity. In this area, I've been being a woman who Quit when it gets uncomfortable, whatever it is that you do. Choose the area of your life and gain that awareness of how you've been showing up. Then, and let me go back. Sorry. For that, this is not for you to feel bad, to beat yourself up, to judge yourself, none of that. Simply awareness. Gaining that awareness is how you start to change and evolve from it. Next, you want to choose the new identity. I am becoming a woman who stays with herself and follows through. It's a simple shift, simple change in the way you're thinking. And then you want to take one action that proves it. Very small, doable, simple, not change your whole life. It could be something simple like drinking water before you have coffee, walking for 10 minutes, not apologizing every 5 minutes, sending the email you've been putting off, doing the scary thing for 5 minutes, or processing an emotion instead of avoiding it or eating it. And then you track it. Keep track of these things because every time you do it, you're casting a vote for the new you, and the votes add up, and then you have evidence to show your brain. Celebrate your wins. Track the things that are working well. And if things aren't going well, take that as data. Take that as information so you can make adjustments. That's it. Don't make it mean anything about yourself. All right, so let me leave you with this. We are not here to fix ourselves. My purpose here, both in the podcast and the coaching work that I do, and in life, is to become more of myself because I get to choose that. To explore, I get to decide. It's going to be intentional, it's going to be deliberate. And that's what I want for you too. You get to decide, become the version of you who has what she wants in 2026. She creates it, she becomes it. She's not a different person. She is you, but she has new thought patterns, new habits, new beliefs, a new identity, new skills, and new standards. And you are building her on purpose. One thought, one decision, one action at a time. And this works. This is a transformation at the deepest level. And that's why it's sustainable. And that's why it takes, not just taking the action, but learning to create new thought patterns, new habits, a new decision-making protocol. All right, so here's what I want to offer you. If you are thinking that this is what you might need and that you're ready, I want people who are really ready, all in, tired of starting over, wanting to become the person that they want to become, who follows through, for this to be your year, for you to create whatever it is you want, then let's talk. I offer free coaching sessions. And that means you come, pick an issue, let's work through it. I'll teach you a new tool, a new concept, and we'll apply it directly to your life. So pick one area that you want to change. Let's look at the identity that's been running the show. Let's uncover the thought patterns that are keeping you stuck. Then let's talk about what it would take to become the version of you who makes that change inevitable. Because it is possible, and I can help you with that. And if at the end of that session you want to keep working it together, amazing. I'll tell you what your options are. But if you don't, you still get coached, you still get value, and you can still take away what you've learned and apply it directly to your life. So book your free coaching session with me. The link is in the show notes. We're going to make 2026 the year you stop trying and start becoming. Let's go. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.